we're not trying to share the truth. We're not trying to be like some fucking arbiter of truth. We're just trying to engage in as many different topics as possible. Kind of like the Y Files, like a combination of Y Files, Sean Ryan. This idea of a real interviews with real information versus.
Shit will be easy money.
I think our first topic should be Pentagon-funded bioweapon labs in Ukraine.
Dude, check that shit out.
Because it's gonna go to the mainstream. It'll be in the mainstream in a month. Straight up. We got what do we got? FISAgate. So Obama, Clinton, they're about to get exposed for their intelligence communications to falsify the Russia dossier, which has the Russia dossier was a source for the reason we're going into wars with, like for all this stuff, for the worries they have about Trump, the worries they have about whatever they put on the news to control people's emotions. It all comes from this story, and it will lead to the Pentagon funded bioweapon labs. It'll lead to Fauci having a classified title as a biological weapons developer. This is all like a big uncovering. Ukraine Biolab suggests there's some material that possess a threat or a risk, which means the deep state probably has all this stuff ready to release if they get pressed too hard. So I think we're coming into a big event season. What do we got? It's August. It's 8/5.
It's always big event season.
No, it's not.
My shit's fire
No,
on YouTube already. I put the YouTube link. Let's talk about it, dude. You're talking about Fauci getting exposed.
We ain't seen nothing yet, bro.
Yeah, Fauci's about to get exposed. That's
We
right.
haven't seen nothing yet. Yeah, the Ukraine war is a big cover for Russia to be able to go in and destroy these deep underground bases, the Ukraine biolabs. There was over 30 of them in Ukraine. So Ukraine is the hub for sex trafficking. This is not some new thing though. The whole world has known that Ukraine is the capital for sex trafficking. Most real estate investors, middle income earners, people who are in your, top 10, 15% income earners, they spend a lot of time in Ukraine flipping and starting their little housing, real estate business. Wonder fucking why. How many Americans have been a part of this, building into this fake Ukraine budget funded by the fake intelligence agency? They psychologically vetted individuals to make wealthy in our economy off of the real estate environment as an extension from this classified bio research, almost economy being run in Ukraine. The amount of money they were funneling through there, not only our tax dollars, but global tax dollars, is mind boggling. And when this all really comes out, and I think it will, the initial people that were responsible for it, they're already long gone. Because they've got 50 fall guys that are responsible for the actual on the ground contracts. These are their proxies that disappear with the wind when this topic gets really talked about. So we're on the edge of something very, very big here, especially we step into the Department of Defense audit with Pete Hegseth. It's wild. I really can't believe it. I think we're 6 months away from the beginning of this soft disclosure. Maybe
I got
a year.
I got this article pulled up right now. Wow. Okay. The first sentence of this PDF from Congress.gov: the National Institute of Health, which is like, I guess the government is funding this branch of, some government program to institute health, has denied funding studies. Has denied funding studies that would make a coronavirus more dangerous. It's just like right off the bat. Am I gonna get flagged? I can't even. I probably already hit their little signals.
Yeah, you gotta say CV.
I gotta say what?
You gotta say like CV or my Corona. You make a joke. My Corona.
True. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just set. Yeah, make everything satirical. Everything's funny. You're not serious about any of this. This is all just theories. I'm too serious. That's where I can't do it.
So let's see
I'll
where
never
this leads.
succeed
So
moving
they're
forward.
denying that they funded studies that would make jibby jabs, or the cure to jibby jabs, more dangerous to humans after it was accused of doing so,
There you go.
following the release of research proposals. Research proposals. Okay, so their idea of being able to combat a virus and create the vaccine, the Viggy Vaggy for it, was pumping it up. That's what gain of research is you're trying to create a greater defense. So you pump up a strain and then you make the jib jab for it. So it makes total sense that they would try to do this. The documents were obtained and released, blah, blah, blah. This guy, that guy. Okay, Richard Ebright, Board of Governors, Professor of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Rutgers University. I used to hang out there. I literally used to sell acid at this university. If it's the same case. And laboratory director, at Waxman
just-
Institute. Where is this going? Okay, enough of that. Where's the goodies?
Dang. Mel Gibson is creating a part 2 and part 3 to Passion of the Christ.
Oh, sick.
And it's called The Resurrection of the Christ, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is Good Friday, and part 2 is Ascension Day. Coming to theaters spring 2027. That's lit.
What are you gonna do with your laptop?
Use it for exactly what I do on this computer, which is literally Discord and like a couple other things. So, yeah, just get a laptop. Sell my PC. I'd sell my desk because there's no need for a fucking big ass desk. Yeah, and then buy a laptop.
Dude,
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
this
Buy
article's
Lenovo.
too wild, dude. This just came out recently, I'm pretty sure. Are we really trying to talk directly against their algorithms right now? Like WHO COVID vaccine. Like, all right, I'm just asking for it. This is what people don't know. This is what people need to know. You need to know they were trying to kill you. Like, this is important stuff. Don't flag me.
I'm gonna take a shower. I feel as dirty as the people in Ukraine. You guys ever just fucking feel dirty like a Ukrainian?
Oh, nice. Here we go.
I feel 10 times dirtier than a Ukrainian now.
Let's talk about this. You guys are talking about being dirty. Listen to how dirty this is. Gain of function research involves modifying a biological agent, like a fake thing, so that it becomes more active. For obvious reasons, gain of function research on influenza or king viral has been the subject of substantial scrutiny. Blah blah blah. This is saying what? What is this actually telling me? What are you thinking, Tags?
Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar.
What are you thinking, Tag?
I think Muhammad is peace be upon
I already exposed it, dude. This is already like, here's the link. Anybody can go read this. Like, I don't even got to talk about it anymore. Honestly, if you've been here for the past 5 minutes, this is absolutely burying the delusional crowd. So go home and cry and wish that things were different. What else is going on? This is actually interesting. Okay, this one about the biological threat reduction program in Ukraine. Dude, all these articles are straight insanity. And then we got the Pfizer stuff.
Yep. Here, let me go get my Epoch Times newspapers.
Who the hell uses Firefox?
Jesse, I do. Me. I'm using Firefox right now.
So this is some shit that I kept. You ready for this?
What's up?
So this is the Epoch Times CCP virus edition released during COVID, right? So 2000. Oh, look, my camera's glitching. They're like, oh shit, he's got a copy of something we're not allowed to have on the internet. Look at that.
How the Chinese Communist Party cover up like to a globe. What is the Epoch Times? What is that?
This was the most independent news, one of the oldest independent news sources at the time before we had the outcrop of independent news sources. So they actually mapped in this whole magazine. They mapped the timeline of all the events. Day one, day two, day three, day four, all of the major.
Give me the title of the article on the first page of when they're reporting that.
Epoch Times, CCP virus, how the Chinese Communist Party's cover-up led to a global pandemic. And this has so much in it. It's insane. And there's another
CCP.
I have a
CCP what? Let's see if that works.
CCP virus. Look at that. My camera's glitching when I show it. Do you see that?
I didn't see it. I've been browsing the name you just gave me. The name of this article. Found it. Got it pulled up right here.
All right, but just to do the mic drop. Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, this is crazy. My camera's glitching.
Oh shit!
Right, I guess you guys can hear me though. Yeah, so Tulsi Gabbard, I was going to hear her speak. Remember when I was telling you last night about the insurance companies and Patrick Bet-David and all that shit? Tulsi Gabbard was going to come speak to Patrick Bet-David's company. I was going to see her speak live in Vegas, but TSA flagged her as a terrorist.
What? That's insane. How is she a terrorist? Because
Right?
she's talking against the. Oh, that's so bad.
Because she was exposing this.
I can't find
and
the.
then all these fucking
I can't
retards.
find the article. This is
Right.
linking me to a documentary.
Then you got these retards coming in and saying that Q is full of shit and that it's all designed opposition. Dude, none of these fucking idiots are even in the world relevant enough to be making a point. I've been traveling. I've been watching. I'm on the fucking ground.
I believe.
And there are thousands of others like me that have been mapping all this. So, I'm not like some arbiter of truth. I'm just one of,
Can you do me a favor?
Seeing it.
Is this?
Yep.
Is this the same article? Whoa.
Are you streaming it?
It's a secret war, dude. The CCP.
That might be it.
This is a claim that they are working with people within our nation to launch a war against us.
There you go, dude. Yes. Yeah.
Look at, is this the same? Is this the same thing that you have?
Yep.
All right, dope.
That's the other Epoch Times document they released. I was going to tell you, Tulsi Gabbard just released the same graphic. I have a poster up in my guest bedroom
You said
that
Tulsi
that Epoch
Gabbard.
Times released 6 years ago. So all this shit is already mapped. It's not new. You know what I mean? It's like,
You said Tulsi Gabbard got flagged as a terrorist?
yep. Type in Tulsi Gabbard, Clapper, Obama, Comey, graphic, or something like that, and you'll see. I mean, she released it on Fox News, so it should be pretty easy to run into. It's a flowchart. Let me go see if I can find the poster.
Found it. Salute to Tank for that one. Gosh darn it.
Do you know who Matt Taibbi is?
I would have to spell that right now.
Let me make sure I got his first name
You
right.
said Matthew T.
Type in Taibbi journalist. Matt
Tai-
Taibbi. Taibbi.
Uh-oh. This guy have his finger on the pulse of the situation. Okay,
Yep,
here's
Mike
Congress.
Taibbi
Congress covered this guy. So this is just an awesome dude, apparently.
right? And
I
he
saw
was
that.
just recently on. So just in, Taibbi drops bombshell on Russiagate hoax 5 hours ago, 1 day ago on Fox News, 11 days ago on National Report, Newsmax. He is the front line of this now. When all of America got to hear his voice 6 years ago, and they ignored him. So what's going to happen now is they're going to have to come to an acceptance. There's going to be a delusion that they have to either realize they were under or continue being delusional, that this guy is about to release the same information he already had, and the American people are going to have to accept it because we have gotten rid of the appeals courts. And when they see that the appeals courts are what stopped Taibbi's work from getting through the first time, then there's going to be a flood. There'll be a massive flood where journalists will feel free and safe to really do journalism, and that's when the enemy is fucked. They are so fucked right now, and they're going to panic. They're going to put attack campaigns on Taibbi. They're going to do all this obfuscation to make it about Trump being on the Epstein files and all this other bullshit. When the movie FISAgate is playing right now, and we were told it was going to start playing. So it's a great wonder. Is it going to play out in the way we want it? Sure fucking hope so. Like opinion and interest from 2020 in the Epoch Times newspaper. Trying to find this article in here. Oh yeah, gaming the system all the way in the White House. Michael Walsh as election. Anyway, it's a long article, but they break down the timeline of the election, the control over the mainstream control over the rhetoric. Right, they expose Operation Mockingbird inside the election process. Like Epoch Times mapped it all out. Here, I'll show you the.
Whoa.
You see this? This is the Epoch Times newspaper.
All the way. Gaming the system all the way into the White House. Dude, the 2020 inauguration of Biden was one of the fakest ceremonies I've ever seen in my life. Nobody was there. It was all movie magic. It was like he didn't actually win. I'll never forget watching that, thinking how fake it felt. I wonder if I could pull that video up, how fake that inauguration was. because it was in the middle of the lockdown.
Honestly, Epoch Times has done such a fucking crazy good job, and the reason they've yeah, I wish I had that original poster because it's the same thing that Tulsi Gabbard is posting. It just blows my mind. It's more confirmation. You may find something 6 years before it's actually going to come out and be relevant to the public. And people will spend 6 years arguing about saying it's fake and that, oh, why isn't it coming out if this is happening? It's because the public doesn't actually understand that to do it by the book, to defeat the corruption that's in play here, you have to play the long game. They're going to put 10 fall guys in front of you to distract you. And the justice system, whatever this cabinet Trump picked, and Trump is not the ultimate chess decider. He's working from a larger board of directors who've made a game plan around this a long time. So they're having to account for the fact that they don't get to use any of the enemy's weapons, right? They don't, just like gun laws as a citizen, I can't go buy an automatic weapon. I have to follow all the rules. I have to use the legal gun. I have to be documented, everything. I'm at more risk just to defend myself. With a criminal, he can just put a black mask on, go get a filed down bullshit pistol and go commit murder. Right? This is what we're up against. We're against a system that gets to use whatever tool they want because they get to hide, they get to be sneaky. But the good side has to do it by the book, and they're held accountable by the public every day. So the system itself has only made it difficult for the good man to succeed, and it seems like the public wants to defend the system. They're like, what's that? What's that mental situation, or it's the psychological condition that occurs when you start to defend your captor? I can't remember what it's called.
Stockholm
Most people are in
syndrome.
that, they're so psychological. That's it, Stockholm. The most people are Stockholmed into defending this system. They don't really believe it's this corrupt. And the crazy thing is they're more likely to get like super passionate about someone who shows up and tries to do it by the book. And they continue to let these liars and secret thieves just push their emotions. So I truly believe it's going to take an incognito force, a secret, force to come in and just by force and by strategy take the truth and give it back to the people. And it can't just be by force, right? The strategy part is so important because they can lose the, just like if I decide to get too passionate and yell at everyone because I think I know the truth, right? I'm just going to make people hate me. I'm just going to annoy, I'm going to hurt people's feelings. I'm going to do these things I didn't intend to do because I'm so passionate about disclosing the truth. There's a whole game they're having to play where they can't get too passionate. They can't get too excited about every little thing they find. And I can't imagine. Like, these guys are making the ultimate sacrifice if this is real. So it's a big struggle for me where people can't even see it or even consider it. Like, can we consider for a second what type of sacrifice it would take to go up against this system?
Oh yeah,
None of us are
3
ready to make
words
that
come to
sacrifice.
die. People will die. It's so sad. It sucks. That's their means of transportation of their new worldview. That's how they're bringing it. They're enforcing martial law, dude. COVID was a test run. It was a scrimmage. See how well we comply to nationwide mandates, which we actually did not comply, but that doesn't mean they can stop rolling this out.
There you go.
The level of compliance this time around, dude. The people that got it the first time, they're not about to get it the second time. Gosh. They're going to strictly mandate it even more since people are definitely not going to comply. Travel bans. That's the number one thing, dude. Crossing international borders without your jibby passport. Scary reality, dude. These guys tell you when they go to the military how many vaccines they have to take. Yikes. Yo, what's up, Sea Lion? We got super top tier. Sea Lion is my homie for life. I got love for Sea Lion. Big shout out. Yo, Sea Lion, I'm not even asking you permission, Tank. I'm inviting Sea Lion. This guy is overpowered. Trust me. He is he is he is that guy. Oh, there it is. My bad, dude. I just invited somebody you. I don't know if you've ever spoken to Mordwand. You probably did, honestly. You probably met Mordwand. This guy is overpowered.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I know him. He's that one retard that thinks it's flat. Or
Oh, fuck.
no.
Yo, there he is,
Yeah,
the
that's me.
legend. We got the legend
I
in the
don't.
building.
Mordwad never struck me retarded though. Come on, Bandy.
Well, you don't know me as well as Bandy
I
does.
don't know about that one.
Mordwand
I
is
mean,
the
for real,
perfect,
I think
perfect person to have up right
on
now.
pretty much 100% of the.
Mordwand, I know you got the juice. All right. Can you see my
Yeah.
stream?
He finds it funny because he knows it's true that he is wrong.
How is Bandy
That's
AFK?
true.
Oh, sorry.
My whole worldview is based on wanting to take Neil deGrasse Tyson's BC up my ass.
Hey,
Damn.
yo. Hey,
Yo,
yo.
that's probably the smartest thing you've said ever.
Honestly, you promise me you're never gonna fake it? Holy shit.
What the fuck
That
is
was
my
super
WebEx not
wild.
working? This is annoying.
Electric, I need you to see. I need you to see a resource we got real quick. I'm streaming a video of me playing guitar. I just want to show you, like, we literally whatever you can think of. I could just play it on guitar. We could make it our intro. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, let's get that watermark.
Here, little. Take a quick gander.
Oh, it's perfect. I'm already dead set on it, dude. I want this to be the intro. Yeah, that's an intro song.
Like this little droppy, like.
So, do we think that Epstein is really part of a pedophile ring that runs the government, or is it a theatric distraction from the real pedophile ring that runs the world?
Yes.
Whatever you said, yes.
Those are the fall guys. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Those are the guys they give the good lifestyle to, and they're attracted to it, and so they're psychologically tuned and adept to get blackmail for these intelligence agencies. And of course, they want all us to just see Diddy as a bad guy and Epstein as a bad guy, and nothing else to see here, right? Don't ask questions
Yeah.
about their connections to the intelligence agencies. And we saw that with the court cases. They didn't give a fuck about exposing that with Diddy or Epstein. It's all about their
Yeah.
identity and what their, the bad things they did. And that's where the court system still has so much power, right? They can do a real case, but it'll be around their individuality, and they'll purposefully obfuscate those larger connections. So
Yeah, I kind of agree.
you think
The
Obama
whole
or
situation with Epstein is so weird because he was like a school teacher, right? Like, how do you go from being a school teacher to like hosting like the world elite on a private island? Like, that's the story that I want to know.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
And his brother
Epstein's.
does a really crazy testimony. Yeah, he did an interview with Patrick David on his podcast.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I would go check that out because he talks about how his brother became this, like, what's that word? Fuck, prodigy in like the
Mhm.
financial world in Wall Street. So
Yeah.
I think the intelligence agencies basically just got with him. So I think he was psychologically vetted for some reason because of who he was, or some
Right.
other connection he has in his life. So they knew he'd be a good role to. Here's the skills to go and work. Be a good day trader, to be a master at Wall Street. I think they drip fed him that knowledge. He
Yep.
was able to, yeah, and he was able to go get the highest paying clients. Right? He was showing billionaires how to retain wealth, which is just so he's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a whole different game too, and like so much of that game of the hedge funds is insider trading. Like they even talk about it. Like if you read some of the like old investing books, there's a great book by one of the hedge fund managers called Beat the Street, and he talks about a lot of shit that's like basically insider trading. Like, yeah, I knew this guy on this board, and I had talked to him before. So like shit that like they are almost pretty open about it in terms of like the shit that they would do. And that's a lot of what that movie Wall Street is about, is basically like insider trading. And it's funny because Oliver Stone story goes, was intending it to be some sort of like cautionary tale, like expose on Wall Street, but it had the complete opposite effect. And everyone was like, I want to be Gordon Gekko. Greed is good. It's like, oh shit. But then, from a like put my tinfoil hat on, maybe that was the point, Maybe like it's like the idea of like controlled opposition in media, right? I mean, is a major studio really going to release a movie that will have the intended effect of exposing the fact that the world's financial system is a rigged game that the average
Everybody
person
knows that.
can't really play?
Right.
Everybody knows that.
Not everyone,
Say
but
that. Not
No,
everyone.
it's actually a really
everybody
small
knows.
community that's aware of all the ins and outs of how finances work in this country right now. People don't know about the shadow entities and the private banks and who runs what. You don't actually know who's owning these private banks and where they're located, and everything's offshore in Sweden or something right now.
Dude, bullshit, bro.
Yeah,
That
that's their biggest trick. They convince you, oh, they're just using loopholes that you could totally have access to if you worked hard enough and
Right.
got your energy level to there.
Yeah, there was a great like Tim Dillon podcast about that where he talked about the super elite, and he's like, he would give tours around New York City in like the super rich areas, and he would tell the tour group like, "Hey, you see those people in that room? You're never gonna be them." Because it's like Bill Gates. I think like one of his connections was like that got him like the first deals with Microsoft was like somebody he went to like a private kindergarten with. Like they're vetted from the age of like 3 or 4 years old to be part of the elite. Like it's not something that if they let you in like Epstein, there's like a reason they did it.
You go.
I
They don't
mean,
even let their kids in.
if you guys,
Yeah.
it sounds like you want to be in their position,
Who, me?
like all of you guys. Like you're talking about it, like,
You know,
damn.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. At one point, I did, but now I just want to live in a nice little cabin and maybe send a letter to people every now and then.
Damn, you're gonna die alone in the cabin.
Maybe.
Bandy, it sounds a lot more like we're trying to expose it, and it sounds like you're kind of being belligerent. So,
No, I'm just offering counter arguments.
we'll raise the
You know,
IQ of those counter arguments.
All right, I'll try. Let me smoke some pot, and then
yeah,
I'll
there you
have
go.
some real questions.
So, like, how many
Like it. Is
cases
that good,
are?
man?
Yeah,
Not good.
I'm just wondering, like Mordwand, how many cases are there against the United States government where it's like they are intentionally causing harm on its citizens? Like we are literally like guinea pigs in all these like weapons and experiments.
Bro, I mean, like they literally got caught planning false flag attacks on the U.S. to try to justify an invasion of Cuba, the CIA. I mean, that's the shit we know about. The fucking intelligence agencies recruited Nazis and I mean actual Nazis. And this goes beyond paperclip, which we all know about, but Gladio, they recruited like the most brutal evil Nazis they could find to set up these like stay behind terrorist cells in Europe, so that if the communists ever took over, they would have these fucking evil Nazis like fighting them from within their country. But a lot of them actually had a lot of ties to organized crime, and the intelligence agencies basically gave them just like money and weapons and fake IDs and all this shit, and they just like there was this like long term and probably still going on like or like alliance between Nazi war criminals and like mafiosos because both of them fucking hate communists. It's crazy. So it's like I don't even know, man. There's so much shit. Tuskegee, like uh MK Ultra, like and the crazy thing is Ted Kaczynski was an MK Ultra victim, it seems.
But how does that affect the shape of the Earth?
I want to bring it back to that.
So no, real quick, I got a real question. The MK Ultra program, they've gone public with it. Do you think
Right.
that? Yeah. So and like Tulsi Gabbard went on national news and said that they've gone public with MK Ultra. So
Yeah, they released the MLK files. The thing I wonder with Trump and the whole Trump administration is like, on one hand, there was like this like panicked, unified opposition from basically everyone against Trump, and there still is, which to my mind gives him some credibility in terms of being like outside of that system. But on the flip side, I'm like so jaded. I'm like, could it really be possible that they would have let him get that far? You know? So it's almost like I wonder if like it goes around to the other extreme where it's like they're tricking us that something is really being done when in actuality it's just like an outlet for the people that might, rise up against the government or something to not do so. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
It's just,
that's the
you
true
know what I mean?
That's the truest steelman I have heard of the designed opposition. Uh, right, that is the true risk we're in. Right, of Trump being an
Yeah,
actual designed
yeah,
operation. Yeah, well said.
yeah. Thanks. I mean, and I don't know. It's hard for me to know. It's hard for anyone to know. But like, at the end of the day, like, it's like I think George Carlin said it perfectly. He talked about politics. He said it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yeah.
So, and Trump's been in the club his whole life. So, like, like, can a member of the club bring it down? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, there's a lot of really interesting insights there, like Trump's dad going into middle income housing in Manhattan, and if you look at who he was competing against, he was competing against nepotistic housing, right? These are a large portion of very wealthy low income earners were paying, pennies to live in these properties because their family owned it, blah blah blah. He was able to like bid out those properties and renovate them and offer them for actual middle income families. And that was kind of like the basis of Trump's dad's success. So I see a little bit of, there's a family, what do you say, a culture where they were kind of against the people in the club. They kind of took advantage of the fact, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he
I mean,
still had to play the
that's
game. He
the
still had to be their friends, right? So
well, yeah, and so this is that great remix of Alex Jones where he's talking about this. Alex Jones obviously is super over the top and says shit in a crazy way, but he said something that was so funny. She's like, Trump's charging into a goblin's nest, gonna be covered in goblin vomit and slop. I don't expect him to not get dirty, okay?
yeah,
I just don't want him in bed with a goblin. So I don't know. It's like that's it's funny, but at the same time, it's like the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I kind of actually get what he's saying in a weird way. At this point,
exactly. And right now a popular story is this whole push trying to expose Alex Jones as designed opposition.
right?
Um, to me, this is not untrue. It's just to point that out as some sort of new question right now,
Mhm.
especially in the late game we're at. It shows it's a unawareness that he himself is only as conscious as he can be as an
Yeah,
individual, right?
right,
He's
right.
obviously Trump and Alex and anyone important in this movement have been attacked, tricked, manipulated. They've said things that they thought were true that were probably just lies, right?
Hmm.
You have them funneling money to people that they believed in that we now know we can't believe in, and that money was used to go against him and ended up, he was shooting himself in the foot for a while. There's all these things that we saw happen if you're really passionate about it day to day. But you see people that they look at the news every once a year or when a big event happens, and when you
Yeah.
see people, yeah, when you see people reflect that programming, that's the red flag, right? It's not about the
Well,
ultimatums. We don't know the truth, right? It's all
yeah,
classified.
yeah, of course. Well, that's the thing too with news is like, so I read Apple News a lot. I try to just like, I actually try to find like the most biased publications I can because then I can like read by reading like the opposite sides, try to figure out like what the truth is somewhere. But it's hard. But when you go to news, the news app, and you look at what's trending, it's always the most vapid, unimportant bullshit. It's like scientist says do this 3 times a day, and like let's see what we got right now. Trending stories, BuzzFeed. Elizabeth Warren just ended the taxing billionaires argument. and then we got Epstein, some infection, an abandoned baby mistaken for a doll. I mean, it's just like
Bro, what?
the shit that's like the level of distraction that's just constant is, and I suffer from that too, of course. But like, you got to wonder. I don't know. It's just like I want to like be like, I don't know, white pill or red pill with respect to like Trump or anyone that's like pushing back on this like globalist agenda. But what if that's the goal, right? It's like it makes me like it's kind, and that's kind of why I want to just die alone in a cabin, because it's like fuck, the only winning move is not to play, as the said in that classic movie, right?
You guys
Like, what
notice?
can you do?
Right.
Yeah. What
What
can we
what
do?
do you do?
I mean,
People, I got most of my like social media with people I've grown up around. They're all kind of. I'm getting calls now, like holy shit, dude. Like I spurged at Christmas one time in like 2000. I think it was 2020, 2019 or something during COVID or right after. I was basically like, guys, I'm just gonna say it since no one else seems to want to like actually say it. Most of this world is run by criminals and
yeah,
very witty predators. Um,
yep.
some younger people who are distracted right now are going to start talking about pedophilia and some of the more grotesque aspects. Like that'll be important, but we're about to go. I literally told them, I was like, we're about to go through a sequence of events that are going to slowly expose the corruption in our world. And I said, I'm just telling you guys, get mentally prepared. And this was in 2019, 20. Everyone's like, okay, Andrew. They don't take it serious. They kind of like, all right, Andrew's tripping out again, right? And
Right.
but as the years go by, I'm getting calls. My sister calls me. Andrew, I took your advice and I didn't take the vaccine and they fired me. But you know what? I just got a call back from the hospital. They're giving me back pay and they're rehiring me.
What?
Wow.
Nice.
Yep. My
Yeah.
mom calls me like last year and she's like, Andrew, all the stuff you told me, like I didn't think it was that, whatever. I'm sorry for jumping on you on it like I did, but they're realizing the gut biome in the medical community. They're all waking up to the gut biome, the fake information the doctors are presenting. She's seeing these 27, 30-year-old doctors she's working for not be totally uneducated, following a checklist, pulling out like medical documents like a calculator and putting
Yeah,
patients'
well,
lives
and
at
it's
risk. So
like,
like,
how is it that doctors who are supposed to be like the arbiters of our health have almost zero training on nutrition, and a lot of that training comes from bullshit studies? Like, we were told our whole fucking life, don't eat eggs because they got cholesterol. Now every fucking expert on nutrition will tell you that's bullshit.
yeah,
Right? It
Wow.
still persists. But like, there's like the 7 countries study, which established that like fat was the cause of heart disease. And who funded that shit? The sugar companies and the soda companies.
I just read
Yep.
And what
something that
happened?
says that the brain actually is dependent on cholesterol for how it
Yeah,
functions or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
yeah. Yeah, and like fats and meats are used to like synthesize hormones. Whereas like sugar, fructose, I mean, there's only so much you can put in like the naturalistic, like what is natural is good. But it's definitely true that back in the day, oh, you want to talk? Sorry, Ben.
Um,
Go ahead.
like they told us alcohol is bad, and that is bullshit. Because did you see society and what it looked like when they tried to ban alcohol? It was substantially worse than when alcohol was
That wasn't the
banned.
real reason for
So
the prohibition. Well, I'm going to pull up an article
that's a
right now.
whole
I'm going to tell you what the prohibition was really
big
about.
lie.
I agree with you on that point before Electric goes, but I'm curious to hear what he says. But I think, yeah, I mean, the idea that like this practice that we've had as part of our culture for thousands of years was suddenly something to be eliminated, right? Because like fucking people have been brewing beer since like Babylonia or whatever the fuck, right? Like,
They couldn't drink clean water half the time. Like
yeah.
it's got uses. And it doesn't make you beat your wife, guys.
Have
Wow.
you run that experiment? No, I'm just kidding. I don't think you're married yet, but
As she likes it.
unless she likes, that's the caveat.
Shit, I thought this marijuana was gonna make me have good questions, but all it's done is make me a little more buzzed off the alcohol.
Oh well, I mean, it brought up an interesting topic though, which is another one, which is alcohol and drugs too, and like we're told that like, I mean, things like LSD, psilocybin, DMT, like um, marijuana, like all these drugs are like demonized, right?
Yeah, they don't teach you about them in school.
No, not at all. I mean, I literally was like still in the era where like in school I was taught that if you had a joint, you would get addicted and then you would end up on heroin. Literally, I had teachers tell me that.
It's a gateway
It's
drug,
like
bro.
I've never seen that happen to anyone, Like anyone that was like getting addicted to heroin is going out and looking for heroin. You know what I mean?
The military found evidence that what is it, psilocybin? It's the gateway to opening your consciousness, which leads to a larger percentage of conscientious objectors. So like all of the scheduling of the drugs are done through this military filter. They tested
Interesting.
they tested marijuana by strapping gas masks to monkeys and pumping
Yeah.
marijuana smoke. Of course they got lack of oxygen. Some of them actually died from lack of oxygen to the brain. So it's just a terrible test, all antiquated, and it's all to kind of like, I think it's to disconnect us from things we would have tried when we were young naturally in the
Right.
world if we were exploring, and expands our consciousness naturally.
Yeah. I mean, in this concentration into cities and the replacement of like shit that we get for free with shit that we have to pay for, you know? That was something they talked about in Brave New World, which was really interesting. Was Huxley had this example of like in Brave New World, people do outdoor recreation, but they only do it with like super expensive and convoluted gear, which you have to like pay for and is like controlled. And that's like kind of how a lot of people engage in recreation too. Myself, like I was a big skier, and you're out in nature in a fucking line half the day.
Oh yeah,
Like, yeah, it's fucking awesome for that like run down, but like I've
that's
literally been in like 40-minute lift lines before.
Oh wow.
you go on days that aren't crowded.
Yeah. Well, my thing is always that I like powder skiing, so that's why I end up on crowded days. But yeah, you're right. You can find uncrowded days. Everybody just concentrates at the same time, for
Just
sure.
don't go on the first weekend of a fresh snowfall. I
Yeah.
guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a guaranteed way to get caught in a long ass line if you do that. If you don't, well, if you do the opposite of what you just said, I mean.
Yeah.
I go to Monarch Mountain, and nobody goes there. You
Oh
basically have
shit,
the
you
mountain.
go to Monarch? Nice.
Yep.
I like Wolf Creek a lot. So
Oh, sick.
I live in Denver, so I go down to Wolf Creek quite a bit, but just because it's so backwoods that it doesn't, and there's no logic, so it doesn't get the same level of traffic.
So essentially, for skiing and snowboarding, it's there's a mountain that has snow on it, and all you do is just like skate down it. But that mountain, if we were to zoom out on it and get a whole picture of the Earth, um, and you call the Earth flat, like how in the fuck is it flat if the mountain is
Uh-oh,
measured?
I'm getting awakened. Uh-oh. Here I come.
Bandy, it's really I don't know. I'm just gonna say it straight up, right? It's a silly question because that they're just gonna say topographically it changes, right? Of course we have different topographical up and down variances, but they're the mean, the average would be in the debate globe or flat, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think it's flat or a globe.
What's
Yeah, I
left?
don't have a dog in that fight anymore.
Yeah. I don't necessarily play that either.
It's all
As
about
much as-
how you take your measurements.
I think it's all about what works and what's practical.
All I know is I can do 85 miles an hour on a snowboard, and it feels like I'm gonna die.
Like Like if
I don't
someone
think I've
shows
gone
me,
that path.
if someone tells me they bought a house and the roof is flat, and then
Brother did 111 on skis.
and I go over to the dude's house to see his flat roof, and he shows me what part is flat, and he just like whips out a tape measure and says, "See, my house has a flat roof," because he's measuring like one section. Like, sure, he's right. Like, it's flat there where he measured it, but like, he hasn't measured the entire thing. And globe earthers don't measure the entire thing either. They don't take lots of things into account.
It's a good point.
Fair enough.
I like the scaling there.
It well, no, the scaling problem for globe earthers stops physically at the vacuum.
Yeah, I'm getting
They
gaslighted.
don't do any measurements past the
I'm
vacuum.
getting gaslighted.
If they do any
I can
measurements,
kick out the legs of your
are the
wobbly
vacuum.
table right now. Like, it's so easy. I will disassemble all globe things. It's so easy.
Wait,
You're
are
gonna-
you a globe earther?
Jesse's gonna go full weave mode.
I could disassemble every single argument for the globe. Like, they all are just loosely based on speculation and correlative things. It's not direct observations. Unless you want to pretend NASA's real, then you could go ahead and do that all you want. But if you move away from the people that are proven to lie about what's going on, then you kind of get screwed, in my opinion.
What model were you talking about that you could disassemble?
The globe is pretty much a house of cards, and it's just ready to fall.
Do you have a model that you subscribe to then?
The globe,
'Cause
but I
can
think it's a house of cards ready to fall. It's the only one that works, but that doesn't mean that something else can come along that's much
The
better.
only one that works in what sense?
Well, distances. But you know, when you have a
What?
projection of the northern hemisphere, and I think if you put, you know, the North Pole at the center, then up to the equator, you really don't have that many issues. So you can treat the northern hemisphere as flat, technically. A little bit, some of it,
I mean,
at least half of it.
You can do lots of things, sure.
What's stopping me from sending a drone outside where we're at?
What?
What kind of drone?
Oh, let's say it's one of these new ones that can do like Mach 10. And I know it's, you know,
yeah,
heavily
one of the
insulated.
plasma ones? The
Yeah.
plasma one?
Hell yeah, right? Meta classified drone tech. We could send. What's stopping us from sending that outside of where we're at? I'm not even going to use the buzzword space, right? I want to say into space, but you know, let's not use it. Let's just say,
You just mean to a place we haven't discovered yet?
yeah.
Well, anything can happen. That's the beauty of exploring. It's
And I'm
the
thinking,
journey to the destination. And
yeah,
we lost, as humans, we lost our exploratory, or as men, we've lost our exploratory nature to go sail the seven seas to look for wood and shit.
so what's the analogy of what I'm saying? Basically, Voyager, right?
Yeah.
They've told us a story that they've made this drone that can go super far, right? And you know, there's stories now that are claiming it's reprogrammed itself.
But
It's
here's the kicker.
somehow.
Here's the kicker. Even if you could go Mach 10 or teleport things and annihilate the concept of distance with physics, what if there are still boundaries you encounter? Because I guarantee you that there's always these boundaries. Doesn't matter if we hit the point where all of society, everybody has a car that's actually a plasma drone that could teleport or fly at Mach 10. Like there's still gonna be like blockades and boundaries because we've never understood everything, you know. Whether it's a physical boundary or a mental boundary.
Well, anytime I brought up Voyager, everyone's just like, that's fake and gay, totally fucking impossible. There's no way we've sent it. Yeah, and where my mind leans more towards is they have gotten a lot of valuable information from this stuff that they've sent. They just lied to us about it.
Interesting.
Well,
That's Yeah.
I disagree.
I've never heard
Yeah,
that
everyone does.
perspective.
Everyone does. Everyone disagrees with me on that.
No, in the way you're perceiving it, the fact is true. Up until you claim it's that they're lying to you, I don't think that is an accurate bird for what they're actually.
Okay, so the
It-
one
it's-
thing I question the distance to is the Parker Solar Probe. That to me is one of the most fudgy cases that you can make because the data getting transmitted from it is supposed to be video, and it's like I don't know. It's been out there since the '60s apparently. So it's just like y'all were transmitting video like over 150 miles since the 50s.
Mhm.
Like, what are you talking
The
about?
government had artificial intelligence in the 90s.
But I don't know. That I'm not trying to make a super strong case for it. I'll research it or something before I do that. But I question that one. The Parker Solar Probe.
Goes for every highly advanced new technology that appears. The government had it first, bro.
I mean, they're saying that these Voyager drones are 15 billion miles away. That's just
Yeah.
Which
been going
ones?
for 47 years. Voyager 1 and 2.
What kind of are they at a Lagrange point?
No, they just sent them off into deep space. Let them go.
Yeah, totally, bro. Let's
To
send
just
it
see
nowhere.
where the space time
Yeah.
takes them, kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, and you guys
Oh,
know
man.
they claim Hitler beat us to the Voyager. They claim Hitler already sent out a drone.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, and he
He
put
was a
like
busy man.
yeah, he put a lot of bad shit on a memory disk on the drone. So just like we did, we have a lot of our music, our math, a bunch of different things just in case it gets captured. But Hitler already sent one, and it's not good that they're gonna find that first. I'm gonna say that right now. So if there is this whole space alien world, like we're already fucked. Hitler already fucked us. So it's bad. And have you guys seen the mainstream media pre-positioning right now for a fake alien invasion? They're already talking about a new 7-mile wide object that entered our solar system. It's got
What?
a broad trajectory. Yeah, dude.
A
I
7-mile
think
wide
they're si-
object entered our atmosphere or what? Our solar system?
Yeah, try to YouTube it. You'll find some fucking
Let
AI
me
video
find
probably.
this. I'm gonna find what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You
no,
said,
that's a load of
what did you
horseshit.
say?
All that
7-mile wide
is-
object?
That's them prepping you
Yeah.
to turn the internet off. That's what they're saying. When they say there's a giant alien ship that's getting closer to Earth and it'll be soon, but we don't know when, that means we're actually going to shut off the internet soon and reset the financial system and the internet infrastructure. But they can't tell everybody that, so they say, oh, it's aliens, and then they spook everyone.
This guy's reporting on Joe Rogan talking about it. I already don't like this, but we're gonna go ahead. Joe Rogan spoke about it. He's already trying to steal
there
the
you go.
narrative.
There's a local news.
Let's hear what he says. This is a Harvard scientist. Let's fuck Joe Rogan.
Imagine being able to
Yeah, that's the
build
one I was sick. Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The guy that apparently created
I'm gonna listen to this. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
peculiar.
Can you hear
It
this?
actually lies
bullshit.
in
I don't believe this faggot.
Yo, people would be jealous of the good vibes in here. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you guys are legends. So wait, can you guys hear this audio?
the orbital plane of the planets around the
No. Oh, is this Avi Loeb?
No, I don't care, bro. No matter what he's saying, it's just bullshit. Like,
I'm.
what I
Can wait? Were you able to hear that or not?
No, and your screen is like
glad I
super
wasn't
low
here.
res too.
Yeah, because I'm streaming a window. Let me just stream the actual other window. Can't see my face anymore over here, but they can see my face on YouTube. All right.
sun within 5 degrees or so.
I'm sure you could hear that, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. It's only 3 minutes. This will teach us whatever the fuck.
The trajectory of this object is very peculiar. It actually lies in the orbital plane of the planets around the sun within 5 degrees or so. And that is
5 degrees. They got an astronomical unit for degrees I don't know about. What are they saying degrees?
the orbital plane.
Bullshit, bro. It's some fucking
What is the metric for this degrees at this scale? What is he talking about? I have no idea.
A coincidence that has a chance of 0.2%. Think about driving your car. In 1 hour, you traverse a distance that in 1 second. The other unusual fact about its trajectory is that it comes very
Forbes
distance
is
that this
1,000
object
times
is
smarter than
traversing
Spock.
in 1 second. You traverse a distance that this object is
He's
traversing
literally
in
so
1
far
second.
ahead.
Driving your car in 1 hour, you
Either this physicist is retarded and has not cracked the code on 0 point energy, which I highly doubt because he works at Harvard, which indicates that dude's probably selling out his own beliefs to a bunch of bullshit science that there's a lot of money in if you support it, and he's going against his belief system. That it's as simple as that.
Yeah, he's the guy they call in to come and do a story for him. You know, like the fact that they're pre-positioning this so much is crazy. Like WPRI, 200K subscribers. There's like 20 or 30 of these local news stations that are all posting this on YouTube. Harvard professor believes interstellar comet could be alien spacecraft. You know, he's their source to pre-position for this.
So this is the interesting thing too, because like in Watchmen, right, which was another like cultural programming, perhaps if I put on my tinfoil hat again, like they talk about like the world being at the edge of war, and then they like release like a fake alien to like make everyone unite against the alien and stop fighting each other. And that's like it's crazy because like it's the same thing with Dune talked a lot about artificial intelligence, and the original framing of the war against the machines in Dune isn't that the machines are evil. It later on his dumbass son came in and then they just went with the standard trope of machines being evil. But in the original version that Brian Herbert wrote, who is the genius, uh, he talked about people declared war on the machines because they had become completely dependent on them to do everything, and that created this like galaxy wide or whatever, civilization wide movement to get rid of machines, and it replaced machines with specialized people that were like trained to do the same thing. But
Holy
like
shit.
that was written in like the fucking 60s and 70s. So for him to say like, oh, machines, the issue with AI is that we're going to be dependent on it, to me it was like some level of foresight for sure.
That's mind blowing. There's a guy Martinez that